Yeah, in my first reaction review, I called him Dennis. Why? Because I'm a moron, guys, and you know how bad I am with names. Knew it was French, but never again. Disrespectful. I apologize. What's happening, film friends? David the Film Junkie here, bringing you a film review of Blade Runner 2049. Been looking forward to this movie because Denis Villeneuve, if I'm saying that right, probably still saying it wrong, is just becoming one of my all-time favorite directors. He's actually putting a stamp on that for everyone, for critics, for everybody who loves film. When it comes to Prisoner, Sicario, The Arrival, when you heard that it was, oh yeah, they're going to do a Blade Runner, 30 years later, 30 some odd years later, you're going, really? They're going to do that? And then when you hear, oh yeah, it's from the director of Sicario, Prisoners, and Arrival, you go, okay. So in Blade Runner 2049, we now have Ryan Gosling playing, the Blade Runner role. Of course, we already know what he does. And I'm not going to give you too many plot points because, there's really so much to uncover. And I really can't wait to watch it again to uncover more. I just don't want to, give away too much. I mean, even in the trailers, they don't really show you that much when it comes to the plot. You kind of just go, okay, there's something with the replicants, something with Jared Leto's freaky eyes, and then we got Harrison Ford back. What the heck's going on? We got Gosling playing the Blade Runner agent, Agent K, actually, and he's uncovering a little bit of a mystery that is leading him down a path that may have to do with his past, that may have to do with, of course, Deckard, Harrison Ford's character, who's been missing for 30 years, and he's just basically trying to uncover things that are happening in this dystopian world 30 years later that still just looks absolutely beautiful. So what did I think of Blade Runner 2049? Yes, another masterpiece from Denis Villeneuve. Totally saying that wrong. This movie is a movie that should be shown in film classes. I mean, pretty much all his movies should be. I mean, this is just one of those that you go, this shouldn't really work, because I mean, a lot of people might be going, oh, they're going to try to do the Star Wars thing, they do freaking 30 years later, they bring it back, a character, blah, 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 they just should have tried to capture nostalgia. Not necessarily at all. This is like its own thing. You really don't even need to see the first movie to understand what's going on. I mean, I had the group I was with, I had two friends who were only seeing it for Leto. Actually, technically three friends that hadn't seen the first one. I'm going, yeah, I heard that you probably don't need to see the first one. But it's, it's nice to know. But they pretty much, things that they reference from the first movie, it's pretty much explained. So you really don't have to worry. The way that this movie is shot, I swear, I mean, I just don't know how this guy does it. I mean, the cinematography is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, as you would expect. This world. I mean, what I really like, the aesthetics, okay? The aesthetics of this world, it's almost like it's better than how in like Rogue One. You know how obviously when they made these movies way back when, when they made Star Wars 77, everything, you just got like a control panel that has blinking lights. So obviously they had to keep somewhat of that aesthetic for Rogue One, but they had to polish it up a little bit. That's what they kind of did here. Like nothing's like super polished. Yes, it's 30 years later, but it's not like there's holograms, like all these holograms and, flat screens and, shit like that, and everything's like super, super, super polished. It's like, it still has that 80s element to it, and that's what I was really digging. I mean, even when you see screens, sometimes they're thick. The technology, of course, is advanced, but it's also got like a retro vibe too, and that's just totally... It just captured what Ridley Scott did, but then took it to the next level. Performances, of course, are top-notch. I'm a Ryan Gosling fan. I mean, the guy, when you're talking about having somebody that has to, like, show little to no emotion sometimes and then just, show the emotion when he needs to, Ryan Gosling's perfect for that. He's a perfect leading man for this. Harrison Ford... He's playing a man who's been isolated and missing for 30 years and has seen some shit, been through some shit. I mean, things have gotten worse in this dystopian future, and he plays that little bit of a broken man who's also on edge, and he does it really well. This is up there in one of his like best performances. Of course, we have Jared Leto. He always knocks it out too. And I think my only gripe for this movie would be that him being, I guess you could say, the antagonist, I kind of maybe wanted him to do a little more when it comes to like villainy, but he has a relatively small role, and I wasn't saying like he has to be like Rutger Hauer or something like that. He has to be that kind of presence in this movie. I just kind of hoped he did a little bit more, but that's really the only gripe I have in this movie. I mean, this movie just really just has, I mean, as much as it's so cold, I mean, you almost want to shiver because it just feels so cold and bleak. There's a lot of it's kind of hard to explain. I mean, there's the human level of this movie, of this story, really just strikes you. I mean, when it got towards the end, when everything was wrapping up and stuff like that, I started getting a little choked up because you're seeing how everything's wrapping up with these characters, and you just kind of go like, wow, this movie was really the human element, given that, you know, there's androids, there's these replicants, the human element in this movie is quite phenomenal. It's really fantastic. Not everybody's gonna like this movie. I mean, like I said, I was seeing it with two lady friends who were just going to see Leto. One of them really liked it. The other one absolutely was bored out of her ass, and so was my nephew. Was there too? He was bored out of his ass too. I mean, it's a long movie, and a lot of people, if you don't really dig this type of movie, you're not gonna really enjoy it. You're really not. From start to finish, I was engrossed into this world because there's just something about it, and I love these kind of movies. And just the fact that Denny, I'm just gonna call him Denny, right? Just the fact that he took Ridley Scott's world that he created in 1982 and just took it to the next level. It's beyond me. This guy is just becoming like one of the he's just a fucking artist. I can't say enough about this guy because it's like masterpiece after masterpiece after masterpiece. Whatever he tackles, he just seems to know the right kind of tone, the right kind of lighting, the right kind of actors, and how he pushes them and where he puts the camera. I mean, you watch Sicario, there's a lot of like dark scenes, but he makes it work. It's almost like, and it's like just, it's not even like still shots. But when it comes to Blade Runner 2049, you just got these, you want to see it on the biggest screen possible. Not to mention the score. The score. I can't get enough. Just sometimes it's just you feel it in your chest. If you're at a movie theater that has a great sound system, and I was, you just feel it in your chest, and I can't wait to download it. I mean, it's so creepy, but it just captures this world so well. And like I said, the performances are top notch. The story just leads you down a path with a bunch of things that end up getting covered. Like, you think it's gonna go this way, it goes this way, and you just see people's everybody's agenda, what they're trying to figure out and everything. And it's phenomenal. And yes, of course, I'll put it on the wall whenever I put that wall back up. I still haven't put it together. But yes, it'll be definitely on the favorite wall of 2017. Highly recommended. If you love the first one, you'll absolutely love this one. If you're not a fan of these movies, yeah, avoid it because you're probably going to be bored because, you know, it's not action. It's not like that. There's a couple scenes that, yeah, it gets a little, you know, amped up a little bit, but mainly it's just story. It's driven by this story and uncovering things in the world. That's what I can't emphasize enough. It's just this world that they created. So there you have it, guys. That is my review of Blade Runner 2049. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. And let me know if you saw it down below and what you thought about it. Hit that like, thumbs up button if you'd be so kind. Subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to the other channel too. Follow me on the social media stuff that is above my head. And of course, I got shirts available. All right, guys. Oh, God, I want to watch this movie again. I'll talk to you later.